By now, most people have heard of Crape Myrtle bark scale, but there's a lot of misconceptions about it. This is a good example of an active Crape Myrtle bark scale infestation. What's happening here is the surrounding plant material is turning black. There's actually some black mold growing on this fence, and that black color is mold. It is not a disease. It is not the actual problem per se. It's a side effect of Crape Myrtle bark scale. What happens is these tiny little dots are active Crape Myrtle bark scale, and as they're feeding on this crepe myrtle, it's producing honeydew, which then rains down and forms what's called sooty mold. It's just a black mold that's formed from that sweet honeydew that the scale are emitting. So the real problem is these scale are feeding on these crepe myrtles, making this crepe myrtle weak, taking nutrients out of it. The crepe myrtles do turn black over time, and these are turning black, but then as it progresses, it also turns the surrounding plant material or any hardscapes black as well. So we very often get the phone call of, hey, why are my plants turning black? And like I said, it's not a problem with the surrounding plant material. It's actually most of the time coming from the crepe myrtles. And there's other pests that can cause this sooty mold, so it's best to always give us a call, email, or text. Let us come out and take a look at it for you. We can give you advice on what's happening, some different treatment options, and we can take care of the pest for you. Our treatments for Crape Myrtle bark scale, when we find an active infestation, are sort of aggressive. And why are they aggressive? Well, they're aggressive from the standpoint of we've got a 3-part treatment in the first year that we always perform on the crepe myrtles. Reason for that is we want to stop the infestation, and then in successive years, we can put down a preventative that goes into the tree to keep the scale from coming back. So in your first year, expect 3 different treatments. We actually let the ladybugs survive with one of our treatments because ladybugs are an excellent predator of the bark scale. So aggressive from the standpoint of number of treatments, not aggressive from the standpoint of what we're putting out there. So what happens if you decide not to treat Crape Myrtle bark scale? You know, if you have several trees or some large ones, sometimes the cost can go up there. So some people are like, what if I don't treat? Well, number one, you're going to at some point lose a well-established tree that's probably very important to your yard. So keep that in mind. But additionally, you know, as we have shown in some of these photos, there's the black sooty mold that continues to grow on hardscapes, and it also grows on plant material surrounding the crepe myrtles. And as that black sooty mold grows and more of it deposits, it can actually choke out the sunlight that plant material needs to grow. So eventually, not only would you lose your crepe myrtle, but you're also going to potentially lose some plant material around it because of the side effects of the black sooty mold.